Kesenya, and welcome to another astrology weather report. And we're looking this week at what is unfolding in the sky for us in the last week of January, January 22nd to January 29th. My goodness, can you believe it is the end of January? We've only just got cracking into 2019. My brain can hardly keep up. And what a January it's been. Like, we have had two full-on eclipses that have occurred in the sign of Capricorn and Cancer. Eclipses are very secretive things, and they bring surprises and unexpected events. It's very hard to predict this will happen, that will happen, you know, with eclipses. In fact, you're a bit kooky if you think you can. But we can predict that for some people it's been a time of great upheaval, great change, great alteration to the way their life was, you know, even as little as a month ago. So there's a lot of unexpected change that plays out with an eclipse. So if you feel so inclined, do leave a comment about what's occurred for you, what's happened for you, and how the eclipse has affected your life in what ways. I do hope that you're also able at the moment to direct your focus into the present moment. So the eclipses have come and gone. We may still feel their effects for the coming, the coming 6 months, really, until the next round of eclipses occurs in July. But what the universe asks of us, in fact, what the eclipses ask of us, is to focus on the here and now. What is happening now? Don't get too hung up about, you know, 6, 8, 12 months down the track. Focus on making the most of the energy where you're at right now, and you'll be in a much better place to navigate whatever's coming up for you in 6, 8, 12 months time by focusing on the present moment. So what is happening on the present moment, let's call it the present moment, this current week in the astrological skies? We have the first energy that's playing out is the energy up here of Jupiter conjunct with Venus. This is actually quite a lovely little transit that happens annually every year. Really, you could call it the astrological Valentines Day. The combination of the planet of love and romance, Venus, with the planet of expansion, abundance, prosperity, and luck, Jupiter, connecting in the sky. They do it roughly every year. And what it will bring us is a feeling of more optimism, of more upbeat positivity regarding wherever the conjunction is occurring in the sky. Now, as you can see, Jupiter and Venus are in Sagittarius at the moment, and Sagittarius is a sign that they both feel happy in. Now, I'll talk a little bit about at the end of this energy report, the sort of the more negative sides of Jupiter and Venus. They aren't all, you know, wine and roses. You know, they can have some very difficult effects, especially in the natal chart, actually. But the transit in Sagittarius, where they're both in good signs, is generally speaking a positive energy that we can work with this week. Like I said, feeling more optimistic, more abundant, more buoyant, especially regarding our finances and our money. Venus rules money, it rules our self-worth, it rules women, and it rules love and romance, as we know. And Jupiter is again connected to finances, but the finances that are sort of coming through an increase or through more abundance, and that not necessarily just finances. We might find we have a more abundance of food in our vegetable garden that we're growing out the back. You know, we might have more abundance regarding the friendship opportunities. It all depends whereabouts this connection is falling in the chart, and we'll talk about that at the end of my intro. So during this time, you might purchase or be given some beautiful things. They might come your way. Beautiful, you know, like more jewelry, or maybe some nice new plant for your garden, or lots of the things that we find pleasure in and joy in, acquisitions, collections, that sort of thing, that can expand for us because of Jupiter's presence with Venus. And this is, I should point out, this transit is going to last 2 days, roughly the 22nd to the 23rd. So it's a short-lived transit. Therefore, the energy is not going to be as whiz-bang as if it was Jupiter conjunct your natal Venus. Then you might feel it quite profoundly. But the energy is much more general, much more, you know, it's quicker, it's shorter lasting. You might get given a gift on the 22nd or the 23rd. You might get an opportunity to go out for dinner and have some fancy food in a venue you'd never been to before. Pleasurable experiences, food. Excuse me, I have a cold at the moment, which I caught on holidays, and I'm going to have to navigate my way through that with this reading. Sorry. That's what happens when you slow down and stop after working like a crazy woman for a long time. You suddenly get sick. So bear with me. So as I said, you might do more socially enjoyable things, and opportunities for those sorts of things might come your way. And now by indulging in your social activities, going to parties, being more sociable, with very sociable kind of planet Venus, it's about others and connection to others, and you know, you might get an opportunity even for a date. By doing these sorts of things, by being more sociable on the 22nd and the 23rd, you're going to increase your opportunities in life, to have greater networks, bigger networks of friends, bigger networks. Obviously, whenever we socialize, we increase our networking, friendship opportunities. But we might also, by going out and socializing at this time, meet potential lovers as well, and create financial opportunities for us too. So it is a good couple of days to be social, to be out and about, to be experiencing pleasurable things that are around other people, around women as well. Venus rules women, young women particularly. So you might decide you want to go to a nail salon and get your nails done or something. As simple as that. Some sort of beauty experience, some sort of being out and about where, you know, young women congregate, you know, maybe go to a nice cafe or coffee shop or something like that. And just connecting with people is going to bring you in the long term, in the year ahead, opportunities for networking, opportunities for maybe, like I said, meeting a new love of some kind. So you may not meet them on this day. This is what I'm trying to say here. You may not meet a lover on this day. You may not meet a beneficial inspirational figure or friendship that's going to turn your life around on this day, but by going out and working with the energy of Jupiter conjunct Venus, being social, interacting, having more, you know, going to parties, going out to the cafe, being out there in the world, you're going to set in motion things that may ultimately culminate throughout the coming year in you meeting a lover, in you creating some networks, in you having a financial opportunity that would never have arisen if you hadn't gone out on this day and connected and socialized with other people. So I'd encourage you, even in small ways, to do that in somehow or other. You know, be sociable, go to a party that you're invited to, you know, maybe do some sort of beauty treatment at a day spa or something like that. You know, women, beauty, Venus rules those things. Jupiter is going to make more abundance available to you by doing those sorts of things, by investing in Venusian type things. So it's a day or 2 days, I should say, of feeling like you don't need to strive in life, that you know, everything's taken care of. Jupiter's got it all under control. No need to strive for, you know, to make things happen. It's kind of like a day of rest, really. And like I said, it is very much the Valentine's Day of the astrological year. So on Valentine's Day, what do we tend to do? Well, we focus on loving our partners. We focus on making them feel special. We focus on, you know, giving them a treat or going out and doing something wonderful and pleasurable together, having some quality time, maybe giving a gift, those sorts of things. And so this is actually a day where you're going to be more inclined to do those sorts of things. Energetically, you know, you might spot a gorgeous bunch of flowers on your way home from work and, you know, pick them up for your partner. You might be at the local liquor store and there's a special on your partner's favorite, I don't know, Malibu or something like that, and so you pick it up and go home and share a drink together that night. And doing those sorts of things, connecting with a partner, thinking of your partner, being thoughtful towards your partner, very, very blessed on this day, and the opportunity is going to arise. So when you get that inkling, oh yeah, there's some nice flowers, I might buy them, go with it, run with it. Don't sort of put it out of the back of your mind. This is the universe sending you a light bulb saying, hey, switch on, dude, here's your opportunity. Go to the liquor store, buy that, you know, rum or whatever it is that you happen to enjoy as a special treat. You know, make the most of this beautiful energy of Jupiter and Venus together in the sky. So there can be gains at this time from women as well. So you might find that, you know, if you've got a female boss or you've got female co-workers, that they might, you know, just bless you and give you more pleasurable, you know, opportunities, such as, well, maybe somebody brings in a beautiful cake they've made the evening prior to work, and you all enjoy, you know, socializing, chatting over morning tea at work with this beautiful cake. Like, this is a gain from a woman in this scenario I'm presenting, but it could be a man who makes a cake as well. I'm not sexist that way. But, you know, there will be gains and opportunities from women. So it mightn't seem like this is a, you know, particularly gainful thing. Maybe you're looking for some woman to come into your life and say, here's $1,000 for you to start that new venture or whatever. And it doesn't look, the world in reality doesn't work like that. Sometimes the gains we get are the little things, like someone making a cake and bringing it into work for morning tea. That is a gainful experience. You can connect with others over a cup of coffee and a piece of chocolate cake. You can interact and create friendships and structure in your life through mingling and talking in a way that you mightn't usually do for morning tea at work. These sorts of things, they are gainful experiences. So don't write them off as just something that happens every day. These are part of what the energy of the universe uses to reach us, to build a future for us, actually, funnily enough. So your cultural experiences are going to be heightened, as will your social experiences. So that's a blessing and a gift. You might get the opportunity to go to the theatre or an art gallery, or, you know, maybe see an exhibition of some sort. Those sorts of things can come your way during this day. Or, you know, it might mean that you go and see the latest Frida Kahlo exhibition or something. It might simply mean that you get tickets to go and do so down the track, you know. So you can book some sort of cultural experience on these 2 days, and it will be favored by the universe. Now, the other thing that relates to this being Astrological Valentine's Day is that it is a great day for falling in love. If you meet somebody on this day, there is such beautiful potential with this, because we set a chart, as most good astrologers know, we set a chart from the moment an event happens that tells us the story of what this event is going to bring into our lives. And so if you meet someone on this day and you've got Jupiter conjunct Venus, well, the love between you is going to be prosperous and abundant and full. There's going to be romance between you that's just over the top even, you know, quite special, quite spectacular. So this is a good energy to have in your chart for meeting someone the day you met somebody. So, you know, you could meet someone on this day and it would be very much favored. Or if you're already in a relationship, it's actually a great day for invigorating your love life, your romance life, your relationship in general. So lots of positivity around love and relationships here. Like I said, it should be the yearly Valentine's Day this day. Now, I wanted to just mention, though, it's not all a walk in the park with your lover. There can be some challenges with this connection. In the natal chart, I have observed that frequently having these two together in someone's natal chart, not always, it depends what aspects are being made, what sign it's in, you know, all those sorts of things. We need to take the chart in totality. But I have observed that these two connected together in a chart can manifest a form of vanity that's just, well, you might even get it bordering on a bit of narcissism. Jupiter expands whatever it touches, and one of the things that can come out on the shadow side of Venus is vanity, being vain, being self-absorbed, self-obsessed. And this, when Jupiter expands this, can create, like I've just said, narcissism. Now, if the Sun happens to be involved in this, and this can frequently be the case because Venus and the Sun, and they're never usually too far from each other in a chart. You'll never find Venus over here and the Sun over there. It doesn't happen because Venus and the Sun are usually quite close together, as are Mercury and the Sun, even more so Mercury and the Sun. So the frequency of the Sun being involved wherever Venus is can happen quite a bit. And when this is the case, well, you get Venus and the Sun together. The Sun is ego, Venus can be in shadow side vanity, and you put Jupiter into the mix and you've got narcissism gone mad. So this is an energy that perhaps we ought to also be watching out for on this day when the two conjunct in the sky. Look out for, narcissists that might be entering into your life. You might find some narcissistic person shows up in your life and just makes it really difficult for these 2 days. Or you might have like a road rage incident with somebody who's just off their nut at you for no reason whatsoever because they're narcissist, and how dare anybody pull in front of them on the freeway, this kind of stupid stuff that you see play out in the world, and you're just like, what the heck is wrong with people? Maybe there's some sort of a narcissistic type person at work who's just all about themselves, and they're climbing the ladder and stepping on everybody in their way to get to the top, and maybe they just they're a pain in the neck and you just avoid them at all costs. On this day, maybe they're just in your face and you're like, oh, I've had enough of this guy, nick off. This can be the energy of Venus conjunct Jupiter in a more negative shadow side sense. So watch out for that, and also watch out, sorry, I know I'm talking really slowly, it's this cold that I've got. Also watch out for the tendencies within yourself to show narcissism. Now, we can, we tend to mirror things that are happening around us sometimes. If we attract a lot of narcissists into our lives, well, often it can be mirroring either something that's lacking in us or something that is hidden within us that we're in denial about. So, if you're finding a lot of narcissist style people in your world, maybe do some self-evaluation. Well, in what way am I acting selfish? In what ways am I putting out to the world this huge ego, this vanity, this, I'm better than everybody else attitude? And it's a good day for reevaluating that, and maybe setting an intention that, right, for this coming year that it's going to take before these two meet in the sky again, I'm going to do things differently and see what it brings me. I'm going to start, contributing. I'm going to start, being more conscious about when I'm acting selfishly. And so you can set an intention on this day regarding the shadow side of Venus and Jupiter, and that will, an intention to work more with the light side of this energy rather than the shadow side of this energy, and that can really empower you for the year ahead to overcome any particular issues you might have with being a little bit selfish, or with attracting people who are self-absorbed into your life. So you can really work with this energy to bring about good things into your life through conscious action, intention, and write your intention on a little slip of paper and stick it on the mirror where you'll see it every morning. Today I will be generous. Today I will be kind. Today, all the positive sides of Jupiter and Venus rather than the more the shadow side. So that said, let's move on to the next big energy playing out, and I will come back to Jupiter and Venus and talk about them in each sign at the end of this intro. So the next big energy is happening on January the 24th. So we've got this energy playing out on the 23rd and the 22nd and the 23rd, and then on the 24th we have a beautiful occurrence happening in the sky, one that I'm quite delighted to see, one that happens roughly, well, it's quite a rare transit, you might be looking at sort of 10 to 15 years. before you get these sorts of things happening in the sky again. And in this case, this is Saturn making a sextile to Neptune. Here is Saturn and here is Neptune, and they are exact on the 24th of January. Now this is powerful not only because it's rare, but it's powerful because this time it's occurring. We have Neptune in Pisces and we have Saturn in Capricorn, the signs that both of them rule. Now this has not happened, certainly in my lifetime that's not happened. This is very, very special. Saturn's been in Capricorn in my lifetime, but it hasn't sextiled Neptune as the ruler of Pisces in my lifetime. So it's something new, something we have not seen in our generations. So this is a special, special day. Now this sextile, it is going to be, like whenever we have a sextile, it gives us opportunities. It doesn't mean things fall into our lap from the sky. It means that's usually what happens in a trine. In a sextile, it means we get opportunities and chances. As long as we can recognize them and we make the most of them, then we stand to be, greatly blessed. So this energy will play out for quite a few days. It's not just a singular, one hit and then move on. They're both sort of sitting there, hovering away as the outer planets do. They take their time. So it's a day or a period for turning dreams into concrete reality. Neptune is our dreams, our hopes, our desires. It's our, it's our imagination. When we close our eyes and dream about what's coming for us in the future, or imagine what the world could be like. We go into sort of a utopian state. This is Neptune. This is this dreamy, visionary, idealistic planet. And Saturn is a very manifesting planet in the third dimensional reality we live in. So in our earthly life, in the concrete reality of our current existence on planet Earth. And when you get a nice connection from these two, the potential is made for your dreams to become reality. Now, you might not find that on this day suddenly you end up being a millionaire, but what might happen is that Neptune making a sextile to Saturn means that the steps are put in motion for you to establish your own business. You get an idea. You actually know how to turn this idea into something. You can start a website. You can, there's a shop becomes available that you've always had your eye on, and you want to start this business from a shop front, or your own sort of, maybe you want to start a day spa or something like that. And on this day, there's the shop you've had your eye on forever that's available. So you go and you talk to the real estate agent and make a deposit and so on and so on. So the steps can be put in place, concrete reality steps governed by Saturn that help put your dreams into real world manifestation. So it doesn't mean you're going to just go from point A to point Z and be there without all the steps in between. It means that you're going to start, things are going to fall into place for you to build towards your dream and your goal. You're also going to be more optimistic about creating your ideal life, whatever that looks like for you. And you can, like I've just described, put structures into place. Routines into place, organize things in your life so that you can achieve this vision like I've just described. Now, this energy of this sextile between the two can bring tangible third dimensional world. I talk about the third dimensional world, basically that's just life on Earth, the physical reality we live in, as opposed to our dream state, our mental state, our imagination state, our emotional state. They're all other types of realms. The third dimensional is the things that we can touch, taste, see, hear and smell. So you can actually, like I've said, start to see tangible results for the actions that you've already been putting into place. Like I said, you might have been dreaming about starting a day spa or a wellness, a wellness shop, if you want to call it that. And then you've sort of done a bit of groundwork, you've been thinking about it, you've been brainstorming about it, and then this day occurs and there's movement in the right direction that's really quite magical. Neptune is magic. Neptune is sudden opportunities that, you know, seem to fall from heaven. So when these two combine, they can actually take a physical manifestation. You're also going to have an increased desire on this day to help other people, to show more compassion. Neptune is compassion, and Saturn is not known for its compassion. Saturn is a planet that's all about achieving in the world, having some recognition, getting the job done, but it's not about kindness and compassion. We don't associate those words with Saturn. So when we've got a nice connection from the planet that is associated with those words, we can take positive world actions towards being kind, being compassionate. Maybe we decide on this day, I'm going to host a garage sale and raise money for the displaced people in Sudan, or wherever that currently happens to be an issue. And you actually can put into place some sort of activity. Maybe bake that cake, bring it in for morning tea. Everyone makes a gold coin donation, and you can do, you know, make some charitable donation with that money on this day. You're going to be very much inspired and motivated to do that sort of thing, to be kind, to be compassionate. Even you might, on the way home from work, I don't know about the city where you live, but Melbourne has a shocking issue with homelessness at the moment, and so many people sleep on the streets down in Melbourne, which is kind of near where I live. And so, you know, you might be going home from work and pass homeless people, and you might think, right, today's the day. I'm going to buy them dinner. I'm going to buy them something to eat. You know, and be kind, be compassionate to people in less fortunate circumstances than you find yourself. So it's a great day for that. There's going to be a real balance between spirituality, Neptune, and materialism. That's the crux of this transit. It's going to be a great day, a beautiful day, and this energy is going to be very beneficial for us all individually, but also for humanity as a whole. We need this energy right now. We really do, after a lot of the upheavals that people have been going through. So this is very important. There was something more I was going to say about that. Oh, that's right. Saturn, with regard to being charitable, wherever Saturn falls in your natal chart, is one of the ways to alleviate Saturn blockage. Saturn blocks the energy of wherever house it sits in the chart. And so one of the strategies that I discuss in my readings for releasing Saturn blockage and allowing good things to flow in to your life is to offer charitable service wherever Saturn sits. And I kind of preach this a little bit, actually, because I truly believe that if everybody did that, if everybody offered some sort of charitable service to the realm of life where Saturn sits in their natal chart, if everyone did that, within a week, the world would be a different place. We would have much more kindness. We would have much more equality. Things would level out instead of, you know, the rich up here and the poor down there and everybody else in between and everyone suffering and frustrated. I think we would find, if everyone offered charitable service to Saturn, that things would even out and be much more balanced and harmonious, says the woman with a Libra moon who likes harmony and balance. So the next energy that we're going to see playing out is following on straight again, the 25th to the 26th of January. So it's going to be a week of really nice energy, bang, 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 one after the other. Looking forward to this week. I think we could all use it. We all need it. This is actually a trine from Jupiter here. By this time, let's just move Venus because she's kind of passed over where Jupiter is. A trine from Jupiter down to Mars. They're making an exact trine to one another, from a fire sign to a fire sign, Sagittarius to Aries. So this is a day when we can have more confidence, more self-assurance. Again, Jupiter expanding our Marsness, which is self-will, confidence, vitality, enthusiasm and energy. So we're going to be more self-assured. It's a time for effective action in our life. So, this is actually going to play out so beautifully following on from Saturn, Neptune sextile, because our dreams are going to suddenly start to be able to take tangible steps forward. And then we're going to get a blast of positive enthusiasm from the Jupiter trine Mars. So they're going to really play into one another's energy in a gorgeous way. You're going to have more enthusiasm. You're going to be more self-assured and confident with what you're doing. You're going to be able to undertake effective action that will see outcomes resulting from what you do. You're going to be clear and focused about your intentions. There's going to be a minimum of struggle in this situation and a maximum opportunity to fulfill desires. Mars is desire, so if you've been daydreaming about some big desire you have for a day spa center, like the illustration I keep using, then there's going to be a minimum struggle about achieving your desires and a maximum opportunity for fulfillment, to take those steps towards fulfillment. You're also going to feel more playful. Now, this is Mars. Mars is a youthful energy. It's a playful energy. It's like Jupiter likes adventure and Mars is enthusiasm, so you're going to feel more adventurous and like you're going to enjoy more fun on this day. So it doesn't mean that suddenly the events in your life are more fun than they usually are, but it can mean that you approach life with a more upbeat, positive, fun, enthusiastic and joyful view for the world, rather than sort of negative and life has got me down kind of thing. You're going to be more, yay, the world's working for me, I can do this is great, let's go out and have a drink after work and enjoy life. You're going to have much more of this fun, positive approach. Coupled with that, Mars is our sexuality and our desire nature, so you're going to feel more sexually adventurous with this. This is great. So you're going to, maybe be a bit more, not so much experimental, although Uranus is still in the sign near Mars, so it might be picking up on some experimental energy there from Uranus in Aries. But generally you're going to be more adventurous and playful, more enthusiastic. Your sex life is going to be enhanced in a gorgeous, abundant way with this beautiful trine from Jupiter to Mars. And it's actually an auspicious day for starting new business ventures or just new projects in general. You can be decisive about what you want to do and it can lead to success. So this is beneficial this day. Now there are some other things playing out. Obviously we've just had the eclipse and the results of the eclipse may not have manifested yet. I mean, last July I had an eclipse on my sun. It resulted a week later in a loss of the particular job that I was working in. And that's a story I've told many times, so I'm sorry I keep repeating it, but it's an illustration that, the effects of an eclipse can play out over the ensuing week to a month. You might get some big event unfold, or the fallout from that big event can sort of manifest over the ensuing 6 months. So, for example, you lose your job, and that's the big event that occurs after the eclipse. It might take 6 months before you feel back on your feet again. You feel confident with life. You feel like you're in the right place. So this is the play out from the eclipse that can occur. That is still in action, obviously. That is still being felt. So all this gorgeous energy that's unfolding this week that I'm talking about, it's still within the sphere, if you want to call it that, the energetic sphere of the eclipse, which is volatile, which is unexpected, which is full of, well, it's quite secretive energy, we don't know what it's going to manifest until it happens for us. So just be aware of that, and take your actions for starting a new business or a new project or fulfilling your dreams or that sort of thing. Do it, just run with it, and fingers crossed that what the energy of the eclipses does is honors that for you as part of what you're rising up into, as part of the destiny that you're heading towards, because the North Node is your destiny point. It's what you want to achieve in life. It's where you want to head energetically in this lifetime. It's the energy you want to master. That's the North Node. So with the eclipse energy playing out, you might find that it plays in, into your life positively. If you're handling Venus conjunct Jupiter, Jupiter trine Mars, Saturn sextile Pisces, if you're handling that energy well and running with it and utilizing it, making the most of the opportunities, then the eclipse might play out for you in a really positive way regarding what you hope to rise up into in life. So now let's have a look at what area of life is going to be affected by this astrological Valentine's Day. Let's start with Aries rising. So the theme is going to be more abundance regarding Venusian things. And so for you, this is going to be, if you're Aries rising, this is going to fall in the 9th house. The 9th house for Aries rising is about, for anyone, is about anything to do with understanding greater mysteries. It's about belief systems. It's about philosophy and knowledge. So you might find there's an abundance there for you. You might, on this particular day, get the opportunity to connect with some female figure who is inspiring, who brings abundance into your philosophical life, your knowledge life, your understanding life. So there's the very distinct possibility that a woman can bring gains into your life in areas of philosophy, or might give you the opportunity to travel. The 9th house is travel. You might travel somewhere with a woman, you know, maybe you go on a trip from, say, Melbourne to the Gold Coast, and you're sitting next to a woman who, on the plane, who is very upbeat and Jupiterian and inspires you in some way. You could also, again, this is the house of inspirational figures. So you might find that you're inspired in life by doing some sort of fun activity, some sort of pleasure. Venus is pleasure and joy and things that we experience through touch, taste, see, hear and smell, that you are inspired by that and uplifted by that, that you get some sort of life benefit by doing some sort of pleasurable activity, and you step into a source of inspiration. You tap into something that you might not have been inspired by before. This is a house of inspiring figures, gurus, teachers, mentors, people who have got our back, and benefactors. So again, a woman might be a benefactor for you on this day in some sort of a way, and might give you opportunities that you've not had, or inspiration that you've not had. So Taurus rising people, this is going to put the energy of Jupiter conjunct Venus in your 8th house. So, excuse me again. So lucky you guys, lucky Taurus rising, you're going to have this gorgeous energy playing out in your house of 6. Yay you! So more opportunity for a really wonderful sex life, for abundance and expansion in that area, for the chance to have pleasure, sexual pleasure on this day. Again, Venus is connected to receiving nice things, so you might receive some sort of beautiful gifts or something from some sexual partner that you have. You can also, it's also the house of hidden things, hidden realms, so there might be some sort of hidden type energy that plays into this. Maybe someone's been preparing a rendezvous, that, like, for example, you've got a wonderful lover and a great intimate relationship with this person, and they've been secretly preparing a getaway for you, some sort of sexual, let's go to a hotel and live it up for a night, so sort of experience. So some sort of secret, pleasurable experience that can manifest Venus in the 8th house. Pleasure, secrets, Jupiter expanding, all that sort of thing. So it can be a really blessed day for you in the realm of intimacy and relationship, physical relationship connection. For Gemini rising people, this is going to fall in the 7th house. So it's a little bit similar to the 8th house, in that it's connected with partnership. You might find again that your partner is preparing something wonderful for you to experience together, something romantic, something pleasurable, something fun, but it's less likely to be a secret than it would be for someone with Taurus rising, which would put this energy in the 8th house of secrets. So, you know, your partner might come to you and say, hey, look, I've got these tickets to this really fantastic concert. Let's make a night of it. Let's go and have fun. Can you arrange a babysitter for the kids? We'll go out and we'll go to this concert. We'll go out for dinner. And look, we might even be able to leave them overnight with grandma and we'll go, you know. So this is the kind of energy that can play out for Gemini rising, where Venus is pleasurable experiences, Jupiter is expanding the pleasurable experiences, and it's to do with your partner. So you're going to be able to have fun with your partner, have love and romance with your partner, enjoy life with your partner more on this day. Cancer rising people is going to see Venus, Jupiter energy playing out in the 6th house. So you might find that there is an increasing of just pleasure, fun, joy, and abundance, maybe at work. So, you know, you might go to work and you might meet you know, a new employee who just you gel with, you click with, it's great, potential lover or potential romance there maybe. You might go to the gym and you might, you know, have been chatting to the guy at the desk for, you know, months and months, and then suddenly he says, oh, hey, let's go out for a drink after your session. And you're like, oh, okay. So romantic experiences can come from your everyday routines, from your health routines, from your daily work. You might experience romance, you might experience pleasure. So, you know, it need not be some sort of love potential comes into your life. It could be something like, you know, somebody bakes a cake for morning tea and they bring in the cake and you all have a lovely morning tea with your work colleagues, chatting, enjoying something. Like Venus is connected to the sign of Taurus, which is connected to food. So it rules food. You might enjoy some lovely food and good company and a fun and pleasurable experience that is out of the ordinary. It's not something that you experience on a daily basis in the house of daily routines. So it's going to happen in a realm connected to your daily routines, like at work, like at the gym, like at the supermarket, you know, all these places that we frequent regularly. But it's going to be an energy that's not common there. You know, it's a special energy. It's an annual event, these two connecting in the sky. So, you know, having that special morning tea might be something that they do at work once every 2 months or once a month or something. So it's not an ordinary everyday thing, and therefore it's a bit special and a bit loaded with joy and fun because it's unique. So for Leo rising people, this energy is going to be 5th house. You lucky Leos. This is great because Jupiter conjunct Venus in the 5th house is very much about love affairs. Now you could meet a potential lover on this day. You might, you know, experience more romance on this day. This is the house of love affairs. So there's going to be the opportunity that's presented to you to experience something romantic. If you're partnered up, you know, more romance in your love life in general with your partner. You might come home from work and find that they've got a candlelit dinner all prepared and it's some gourmet meal that is just delicious. And there's this energy of romance in a big, beautiful way that's not ordinarily felt from day to day for you guys. So 5th house is love and romance and it's pleasurable experiences. Venus is love and romance and pleasurable experiences, and Jupiter is expansion and growth and abundance of these things. So you're going to have a great couple of days for Leo rising people with this energy of Jupiter conjunct Venus, and you're getting the opportunity to experience more pleasure, more love, more romance in your life. And that can play out even in little ways, you know, somebody leaves a little Ferrero share chocolate on your desk at work or something. It's just a little touch, but it's something that's quite beautiful and pleasurable, and you know, we can be grateful for those gorgeous little experiences that make ordinary life worth living. All right, Virgo. So sorry about my cold. Can't help our health sometimes, can we? Virgo rising sees Jupiter conjunct Venus in the 4th house. So there's going to be an opportunity for pleasure and good, nice, fun experiences with family members, or maybe you have a really great connection on this day with your mother, and because Venus is young women in the house of the mother, the 4th house. So you might have a beautiful connection with your mother on this day, maybe able to even resolve any issues that you've got with your mum on this day, and to set things up for the year ahead in a positive way with a family member, a female family member. You might be able to expand on the relationships, because Venus is relationships with your family in general. So your parents, your grandparents, although generally grandparents are seen from different houses, but your family lineage is represented by the 4th house. So anyone who's part of your family line genetically, you can make a good connection with on this day. You can really expand the relationship, bless the relationship, make the relationship more abundant. So it's a great day to visit grandma. It's a great day to give dad a call, or go out for lunch with mum, or do something like that, to have a pleasurable experience, a pleasurable interaction that you can initiate with your family with a family member. It doesn't have to be all of them, but just it can be one, can be all if you're into that. It's a really good day for establishing a greater bond, a more abundant bond, a more fulfilling and harmoniously, well, prosperous bond. Prosperity doesn't have to be financial. Prosperity can be emotionally prosperous day for you, and this is a very emotional house. So it can be really beneficial for Virgo rising people to connect well with family on this day. Libra rising people, this energy of Venus conjunct Jupiter is playing out in your 3rd house. So you might find that you get opportunities and benefits coming to you from women on this day. Venus is women, and through social media. So you might, just say you've been promoting a website, or you're a jewelry maker. Venus is connected to beautiful things like jewelry and so on. You're a jewelry maker, and then some woman who has a great following on Facebook or something, she promotes your website on this day, your jewelry making website, and you suddenly get all these orders and people know about you and all these new followers on Instagram and stuff, and you're really, really blessed by this. So for anybody with Libra rising, this can be a day of blessing business wise, because the 3rd house is connected to people who run their own businesses, make money from their own work, and so definitely lots of creativity on this day that can manifest for you, lots of social exposure, media exposure that can happen, that can be blessed. You might find that you something from women, some sort of female figure is able to really support your work and enhance your work, usually through the media, advertising, marketing, maybe through public speaking or writing as well. Someone might write a favorable article about you on this day that really supports the work that you're doing and the aspirations that you have. So this is a really nice energy for Libra rising people. Venus conjunct Jupiter in their 3rd house. You might also be inspired to write yourself some articles about success, articles about abundance. You might share about that on your social media, about what the last year has brought you in terms of growth and abundance. Jupiter is growth and abundance, and of course this is playing out in the 3rd house. So Venus can bring pleasure and fun and joy from all these things. It's quite delightful to receive some support online, and for Libra rising people, you might experience that joy and that feeling of being blessed by others on this day. Okay, Scorpio rising people. Ta-da! 2nd house. Now this is nice for you Scorpio rising people, because Venus is the planet of money sitting in the 2nd house with Jupiter. So you guys might find that there is just generally more abundance in terms of your possessions on this day. You are the ones who may receive some kind of gift, some kind of, maybe you've got a collection of Charles Dickens books or something, and somebody gives you the one that you've been missing to complete your collection, and oh my god, how fantastic, your collection is complete. That is abundance, that is growth, that is Venus Jupiter. Venus is the collections that we have, the possessions that we have. Jupiter is abundance and an opportunity for prosperity. Well, it's going to be very emotionally prosperous for you to have the full collection of Charles Dickens' works that you've been aspiring to have. Second house has to do with self-worth and self-value too, so you might get opportunities that present themselves that really solidify how you see yourself, the value that you have around yourself, and your sense of self-worth. Now, as I said in the intro, Venus conjunct Jupiter in the natal chart, I've seen, can sometimes, depending where it is, depending what other aspects are being made, every chart is personal and different, but sometimes it can play out as selfishness or even tending towards narcissism. And that being the case, in the house of self-worth, you guys stand to benefit greatly through possessions and money on this day, but also the potential for some narcissist to cross your path can also manifest as well. You might also get enlightenment around somebody who's been behaving like a narcissist to you for months on this day, and it might suddenly, the penny drops and it falls into place. Oh my God, of course. And on this day you realize, you get some clarity. So for Scorpio rising people, there's this kind of shadow and light to this, but then that's something that Scorpio rising people are very familiar with, dealing with both the shadow and light in life. So yeah, lots of blessing is possible for you at a material level on this day when these two can join in the sky, as well as the potential for maybe more difficult people who are not valuing themselves appropriately or properly to show up. But yes, this is a day that you can really assert yourself. These two planets aren't usually associated with assertion, but it will give you the strength to love yourself enough to assert yourself with anyone who is behaving like a narcissist in your life. These two, Venus, Jupiter, is going to say, no, I value myself too much, and you must stop treating me like that, because I am worth more than this, that kind of a attitude. Not I'm going to be assertive because I'm aggressive type person, you'd see that with Mars, but more assertion from a really healthy standpoint. I'm a valuable person, I know I'm special, I know I deserve every good thing in life, just like everybody does, but I know that I deserve that, so I'm not going to take narcissistic treatment anymore. So that is another manifestation that can occur, that might play out for Scorpio rising people. And Sagittarius rising, well, this is a first house energy. So let's just say, sorry about my cold, let's just say for Sagittarius rising people, you guys are going to have a great day. It's actually 2 days, this energy, so it's going to be great for you on the, let me tell you the dates, 22nd to the 23rd of January, because your first house is all about how we survive, how we can stand on our own 2 feet, how we can make ends meet, how we can really, how we're going to go through life bodily, physically, in this earthly environment. How are we going to do it? And when you've got these two meaning in your first house, you're going to do it with abundance, with prosperity. So it's a day of moving through life with Venusian grace and beauty, culture, style, all these things are associated with Venus. Jupiter is going to expand all that stuff for you. So you might have great opportunities to express your cultural preferences on this day. You might get the opportunity to receive some sort of financial or possessions, financial monetary benefit or possession material benefit on this day that helps you survive more in a better, more uplifted way. So, I mean, being Sagittarius rising, you guys are probably quite adventurous and like to travel a bit, I would imagine, if you're Sagittarius rising. So you might get the opportunity, here your boss says, here you go, maybe you've got a female boss, Venus is women. Here's some tickets, I want you to go to Sydney next week for this conference, and while you're there, make sure you do some networking, get out in the evening, go and meet people and go to this event and this concert's on, or, somebody gives you the opportunity to do something that's an honor and it's going to help you survive, because obviously your boss thinks you're really good and she wants you to go and represent the company. So you get an opportunity to travel, and it's going to aid in the future your survival, because it's going to, you know, give you an honored place in the company you work for. Hope you're following my drift here. So there can be pleasure that comes from this. There can be expansion and growth. There can be material opportunities. Somebody gives you or makes way for you to buy something that you need to support your life and the way you survive. Your health and your body is also affected here. So you might find that you are more physically attuned. Your five senses, that you touch, taste, see, hear and smell, are represented by Venus, and so your five senses are more in tune with this transit. They're more expanded, they're more switched on on these days. So you might actually respond physically in a more empowered way to what's going on around you. You might have a piece of chocolate cake as a treat, special indulgence on this day, very Jupiter Venus. You might have a piece of chocolate cake, and you've had so much chocolate cake in your life, you know, another piece of chocolate cake, but I know it's nice, we'll have some. And you eat it and it's like, my God, this is the best chocolate cake I've ever eaten, because your sense of taste is switched on it's amped up to the max. Jupiter conjunct Venus. So you might hear a song, and you know, you've heard it before on the radio, but then it really strikes you because your sense of hearing is more finely attuned, and you're like, oh, I never caught that violin in the background. That is so beautiful. It's angelic. You know what I mean? Your five senses are really switched on for the duration of this transit, for you to enjoy life more, for be more in tune with life, more enamored with life, able to survive in a more joyful, abundant, prosperous way. Jupiter conjunct Venus. Okay, Capricorn rising. Almost there, peeps. Thanks for sticking with me. Capricorn rising is going to see this energy playing out in the 12th house. It's a very spiritual house. So Capricorn people, you probably need this right now. You're going through heavy duty stuff. There's so much activity in your first house right now. It's not funny. You've just had the eclipse occur there. Full on stuff. So what you need to do at this time is redirect your energy to your spiritual life to help you balance yourself, ground yourself, find some harmony with this energy. So here's Venus and Jupiter sitting together in your 12th house. It's saying you can experience prosperity and abundance, connection with others. You can experience material, tangible rewards by going into your spiritual practice. So I'm not sure what that looks like for everybody, but it might mean you just have more pleasure in your meditation in the evening. You know, you sit down to meditate, and Jupiter conjunct Venus gives you that higher realm, that feeling of relief, of oneness, because Jupiter Venus is pleasurable experiences, and your meditation might bring you a more pleasurable experience. You might also be very inspired creatively on these days, because this is a house of divinely inspired creativity that comes from the angelic realms, from the, you know, that's almost outside of us. So when you've got a planet, two planets actually, that are very creative, Jupiter's extraordinarily creative actually, and Venus is about our physical senses, you know, touch, taste, see, hear and smell, and the combination of the two in the house of divine creativity can manifest some beautiful works of art or jewelry or sculptures. Some fabulous music can result from this connection in the 12th house as well. So you're going to be more inspired, you're going to be more creative, and it's really good for Capricorn rising people to tap into this energy on these 2 days, so that you know, you can balance the energy of the eclipse that you've just experienced in your first house, which will be quite intense, especially with all this planetary activity happening in your first house. So I'd encourage you to read spiritual books, to go within, to meditate, to, you know, find a way to connect with others in a spiritual sense, one of the things that I am hoping to embark on this year is a spiritual dancing group. Sounds a bit kooky, I know, but where you express through your body what is happening in your spirit by dance, and it's just a free-for-all really at an activity centre near where I live. And I've done it once or twice before. It's been empowering. It's been a blessing. So you could do something like this. This is the house connected with dance, actually. And Venus is a sign that's very expressive on a creative level. And so doing these sorts of practices, incorporating spirituality with your body, Venus it is about the beauty within us and our body beautiful. So doing those sorts of practices can be really beneficial. So meditation, yoga, dance, spiritual dance workshops, those sorts of things can be really, really empowering and helpful for Capricorn rising people at this time. Ooh, nearly finished. This is Aquarius rising, and Aquarius rising sees us in the 11th house. So the 11th house, excuse me, so sorry. The 11th house is the energy is pertaining to large groups of people. So for you guys, socializing, if you're Aquarius rising, getting out there and socializing, it's a super way to be blessed. You could meet partners this way, lovers this way. You will have pleasurable experiences by going out and connecting with a club or a group, you know, maybe joining some sort of theosophical society lecture and going and you know, learning about belief systems. Jupiter is belief systems, so you will have a beautiful experience, a pleasurable, fun experience by going somewhere where you learn about other belief systems and other you know, other thought processes where there's a large group of people. I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be going to a spiritual dance workshop. I mentioned this when I was talking about the sign of Capricorn, if you weren't listening to that bit and have jumped up to your sign. Venus is connected with dancing, and it's being enhanced by Jupiter, expanded by Jupiter. And if you go to a place where there is a lot of people who are there to, you know, dance, you know, maybe at a spiritual workshop, or you might go to a swing dance or a, you know, disco or whatever is your big, what you like to do, then you might actually, you know, experience a lot of joy, a lot of pleasure, a lot of fun, and maybe even meet somebody. Yeah, don't go for those purposes, but that can result when Jupiter conjuncts Jupiter conjuncts Venus in the 11th house of large groups of people. It's also a day when you can receive rewards and gains at a material level for the work that you've put in. So this is a blessed placement for Aquarius rising people right now. So you might receive some sort of recognition at work for some, you know, something you've done, and it will happen in a tangible form because Venus is very physically manifested. It's the tangible world. It's not out there in the spiritual realms, it's in our tangible world. So you might receive some sort of a employee of the month award or something like that, with a little trophy. You know, there'd be a tangible result to it. Venus conjunct Jupiter. Venus is women, so there could be an opportunity for this to come from a woman. Doesn't necessarily need to be your employer even as well. It could be, you know, you might have done some really fabulous deed, rescued a cat from up a tree or something, and you get a Congressional Medal of Honor. I'm being silly, but you know, you receive some kind of recognition or award for some work that you've done, and it possibly will come from a woman. Venus is female figures, so you stand to be appreciated and honored when with this combination. Now, like I said, throughout this reading, it may not be manifesting on this day particularly, but something might be set in motion right now that on this day that leads to your benefit, and leads to a process of recognition and honoring for you down the track. So yeah, keep an eye on what happens on that day. Make a mental note. Oh, that was the day that I rescued the cat out of the tree. You know, and see what comes of that for you in your life down the track. Or that was the day that I I joined the Theosophical Society, and my gosh, look at what I know now. Look at what how I've grown emotionally. So there can be a number of ways that can play out, but it will be with large groups of people. It'll be a source of pleasure for you. It'll be expansion. It may have to do with women, and it might also have something to do with your belief systems and your understanding, your holistic understanding of the world. So finally, this is Pisces rising, and this is the 10th house for Pisces rising people. I'm really I'm interested, because I'm Pisces rising, to see how this manifests actually, because it can mean that through some bosses or authority figures in your life that you might meet somebody, some sort of have an opportunity to meet someone who could be a new love affair for you on this day. But it depends, like I said all along, what else is playing out in your personal natal chart. But also there can be blessing and abundance, tangible blessing and abundance that comes to you through your career or through the realm of life that you choose to, that you want to leave a legacy in, that you aspire to succeed in and be known for. So there might be a wonderful opportunity that comes your way through another woman. Some woman might bless you in your career on this day. Some woman might give you an opportunity to step up a little further towards achieving your goals and dreams. Venus is women, and Jupiter is expanding their influence, their blessing in your life. You might get the chance to have some sort of a pleasurable experience, or maybe something occurs that sets things up for you to maybe travel overseas. Sagittarius is overseas travel for the purposes of your career or your worldly aspirations and the legacy that you hope to leave. So maybe someone might give you an opportunity to travel overseas on this day. Pleasurable, fun, expansive experiences. Venus conjunct Jupiter. You might also like I said, receive something tangible on this day that blesses your career. So, I mean, you might get at work, they might upgrade your company car, and you've had this old car that's kind of falling to pieces for so long, and you'll be like, I wish they'd just upgrade my company car, and then they do. On this day, the wheels are set in motion for some sort of tangible possession that is better, that's upgraded, that that you utilize for your career, your work, whatever job career you're in, and you get a better outcome, a better material possession on this day. So that's another way that can play out. There's lots of ways this energy can play out, but it's going to be an energy of abundance, prosperity, love, and something that happens in the physical, tangible world for you on this day. With the Venus conjunct Jupiter, it's going to be pleasurable. Whatever happens, it's going to bring joy and going to bring more opportunity for success. So there's lots to look forward to if you're a Pisces rising. So that's what I see playing out in the skies this week. It can manifest in many different ways, and as I have mentioned in last week's video, really all this energy is very general that I talk about. If you want something more specific to you, more defined, more accurate, then it's really wise to get a reading, or if you're not into getting readings, then do some courses, do some of Lana's courses and learn astrology for yourself so that you can see how truly it plays out in your life, how real it is. Because if all you listen to is just this general overview of what energies are in the sky, you might find that from time to time you're quite disappointed that it doesn't match up to your perception of what should be occurring. So it's very important to know your natal chart, do the work to understand your natal chart, or to get readings from astrologers who can offer insight and wisdom. So thanks for joining me. I'll finish with a little prayer, and yeah. Oh, loving universe, thank you that you are protecting us and that you are with us through the eclipse energy. And now that we're out the other side, we can look forward to the positivity of this week with all the beautiful energy playing out. Please bless this energy. May we recognize opportunities when we see them. May we run with the chances that we get to build our lives and to create beautiful destinies for ourselves and for those around us. May we reach out in love and compassion to people around us. May we use these energies for good and not for evil. And so it is. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week.